Jesper. 0506 season schedule. 2 Magna schedules available. I also have the opening night from the 2013-2014 season Puck available. Not for sale, for the fans. If you'd like something like that, get in touch with me. Make sure you follow and all that crap. And seems like my recording software is like a little behind. Like I lowered the music and then it took 5 seconds to actually load. Let's see how long it takes for Doc Emmerich to say, Doc and Chico to call this Cam Jansen goal. So, oh, that was right away. Okay. Not bad. Alright, so let's lower this and get into it. This is The Devil's You Know. This is Season 4, Episode 2. Season 4, of course, is the new season that will not be every game, okay? Because I was doing not only whether I'm at the game or I'm at home, you guys were getting, not you guys, Twitter, X, gets from my account on Devil's Joint, at Devil's Joint X if you don't follow me. Every goal, every good save, there aren't many these days unless Allen's in the net. Good plays. Actually, from yesterday, Nico Hischier made a great play along the boards. Just a bounce pass to himself off the boards and like a spin thing. It didn't nothing happened because of it. It was just a good play. I love to post stuff like that. And you can go back to the beginning of my account from basically I had a large account, not like millions of followers. I had like 75,000 up until December 1st of 2020, and a lot of people were purged from Twitter at that time. So I made a new account sometime that month, and I think I used it just normally as just normal stuff, you know, hockey obviously, but it wasn't the Devil's Joy, and it wasn't what I do now for a few months. But once I started, like it was like the end of the season, whatever year it was, I was like, why don't I start putting up the goals, you know? I'm watching the game. Why don't I post every goal that happens? And from that day, I've missed like 1 or 2 goals in like 5 years, and this weekend was the first weekend because of this guy that's on the floor by my feet, and it's not Gino, the devil DOG. It's NICO. Number 2, Devil DOG. Yeah, I rescued another one. And it wasn't because I'm an idiot and I did something when I didn't have the means. I did something out of the... and I'm not trying to pat myself or anyone in my family on the back, but we were told that someone had some 2 puppies from their dogs had puppies, and we have he's sleeping, so I'm just gonna spell his name, Gino. You can follow him at Gino the Devil Dog on X, on Instagram, on YouTube. Anyway, I should change this background music while I'm at it, while I'm here. Anyway, so a woman I know, because I go to the DOG PARK a lot, and you know the funniest thing is I find Montreal Canadiens fans at that place, at the DOG PARK, very often. There's a bunch of families from Quebec, from Montreal area, well, Quebec in general now, they don't have the Nordiques, right? I just keep seeing people with Montreal, not jerseys, but like t-shirts and hats and stuff. So they're making their way to Long Island. I used to, when I lived down in South Florida, we used to see a lot of Montreal fans. A lot of people from Quebec come down to South Florida, especially in the summer. Um, when I lived there, you would see all the Quebec license plates. You'd see Nordique's license plate things. You'd see Nordique's stickers on cars, and also obviously the Habs. Um, that was cool. So anyway, back to what was happening. So a friend of mine from that place knew that I needed a break. Like the deal was I needed another DOG because GINO is very attached to me, and I can't really leave him alone. Like I, you know, I, if you know what it's like to love your dog or your cat or whatever, your mountain lion, whatever you got in your house, bats, I don't know. But if you know that feeling of like you know that they're gonna be crying when you close the door, but you don't know how long it's gonna go for, and they're gonna be alone. He's never been left alone for. I guess I coddled him a little too much. I'm not like professional DOG owner. I don't know why I'm spelling the word dog. I gotta spell the name and the word and the place. That's the things I gotta spell. Anyway, so the people that brought him, there was I don't know. I'm not gonna get into the story really, but it was 4 people deep. The woman who had the dog, which is the father of the puppies. Now, the reason was because this one they said he was under two, and my dog is gonna be 3 at the end of March. So I wanted one dog maybe a year younger or so that I could rescue. Obviously, want to rescue. I suggest everyone rescue. Don't buy from the Amish. Don't buy from pet stores, please. They've they've shut down a lot of pet stores, and also that not just shut down, but like some of them they just banned them from being able to sell those kinds of animals. That's why you'll just see a bunch of fish at like Pet Supplies, Plus, or Petco. Anyway, so they brought him, and everything about him was a lie. This he's right here right now. I don't even he looks like if I pick him up and show you on the camera, you're not gonna see much because he's gonna be moving around. But and also I bathed him 3 times since Friday. And the first night when I bathed, he needed a bath. He was disgusting. And I'm gonna tell you what these people. I know I'm not talking about hockey right now, but this is all humans need to hear about this. Not only did they try and hide the fact that he was clearly a part of some sort of basement dog breeding ring from the hood. No offense, but that's where it happens. Let's just be real. I don't pull any punches. I don't censor myself. I'm gonna tell the truth. In the hood, it's a thing. Can you not get up here because of my card books, bud? I'm sorry. I wanted to show these people some cards. You want to go back up? You know what? I'm going to show you. This is him. This is Nico. Now, he looks okay from this on the screen, right? But when I gave him his first bath, the water was brown. And I had to cut probably over 25 matted chunks of hair the size of a quarter or bigger all over his body. There's still a bunch. He's getting groomed today at 2 o'clock. It's quarter to 10 right now. But look, he's really sweet. But they told me he was never been in a cage. Well, guess what? I asked my neighbor because we knew they lied about so many things. We don't even know what he was eating. We know nothing about the dog. So, I asked my neighbor. I said, I gotta check something out. I said, she has a few dogs. I said, do you have a dog cage, a small one? She brought over a blue cage. I put a pad in it thing, And from when the second he saw it, he was jumping. I put it down, he ran right into it and laid in it. So he's used to being in a cage. They said he's never been in one, and he loves to play outside. And they even made up some bullshit about him being outside from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day, which, what? But when I brought him outside, I wish I had the videos, but this is mostly audio. People mostly just listen to this. But I brought him outside just in the backyard for the first time, and he was looking and I know dogs sniff the air and stuff, like, because they smell scents. He was looking at the sky and around, and not understanding where he was. I don't think he's ever been outside. He didn't have a collar, like the collar he's wearing. We had to go get it for him on Saturday. But he's licking my keyboard. He didn't have a collar. They claimed that this was his dog. They just left. They wanted $400 for him. Because I had scammers in my house, I was gonna call the police, to be honest with you, but I didn't. But I said, to be honest with you, I said, you're not taking this dog back. Like, I didn't say it like that, but in essence, I said, I'm going to give you $100. That's it. But either way, if you don't want $100, then it's going to be zero, because the dog's not leaving this house with you. Not with you. And then the first time when I brought him to the store, luckily Santa was there, so they both got to see Santa and take pictures. He probably never seen Santa or took a picture, but it's a cute picture. Actually, I could put it up because I'm just recording this. I'm not doing this live. I will post the picture up. What are you doing? I know the microphone's in the way. Take it. Okay, so, he needs to be neutered. It's Christmas time, and see, the thing is, we were not letting him leave with these people. We did not trust them. We felt bad for him. So what were we gonna do? But we put ourselves in a position where we can't afford to have him have his vet appointments, his shots. It's the December 15th. I have 3 kids. Technically 4 if you count my nephew, who is kind of basically my son. So there's no money. Like, we're in debt. I had to sell my car recently, and I have a good job, but it's New York. Things aren't easy. Anyway, back to the dog before we get into hockey, which I know it's been 13 minutes and 49 seconds, and I haven't even started. But I wanted to get this story out there. If you look above, I have a little scrolling thing where I'm not asking. If anyone has it in their heart to throw a few dollars, I need to pay for, vet bills. He might need medications. I don't know anything what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be able to go to the vet tomorrow and take the bill, which is usually not how they work. Usually it's cash up front, but in this situation they were nice enough to do that. And today I got a half off grooming for him, which was nice of the lady cat who's gonna give him a groom today, and we're gonna cut all his hair off because they not only did. So this is what they did to him. They before they brought him here, they took a scissor and just cut probably pieces of crap that were all over his face. He probably had matted pieces of hair all over his face, and they just cut it off, so his hair's all weird on his face. And then guess what they did? It's so unbelievable that someone would do this. So this is how I first found out. I laid on the ground, like on my back, so he could like crawl on me, and first of all, he just stunk because he was probably in a cage of his own feces. Like, that's probably where he lived, and didn't come out of there very often. But he smelled like Vicks vapor rub. They put vapor rub and just rubbed it all over him so that the menthol smell would cover up the fact that he hasn't been, and then this woman texts me and says he missed his bathing routine. I wish you could, if I could show you his nails, if you're watching, they have never been cut. However old he is, they claim January 9th he'll be 2. That's what it said. That's what they claim. If that's true, if that's his age, he's never had a haircut, ever, or a nail cut. He's never been taken care of. I took, I guess I call them eye boogers. They were the size of fucking, like what are those little, like brown, like chocolate, I don't know, like the size of a marble, and it was black. A small marble, not like a big marble, like a small marble, black, disgusting, a year old. I clean the other one, GINOs, every day. Especially a last couple of days, because he's been like tearing up a lot more, probably because he's sad. Anyway, so if you could donate and help us out, we'd really appreciate it. We have Gino, the devil dog, and now we have Nico, the devil dog. So we got 2 devil dogs. And this one, like I said, I feel like this Bratman shirt. Another thing, if you do help and donate, I will, if you know me, if you've ever seen my accounts or listened to me, I'm a memorabilia guy. I got a lot of Devils memorabilia. I actually have another piece of something cool that I wanted to show you. I think I opened with like, this is memorabilia. If you donate, I will, and you give me your email, or you email me, thedevilsjoint@gmail. I'll send you wonderful, wonderful pieces of Devils memorabilia in return, if for any assistance with his vet bills. And I hate to even talk about it and seem like I'm begging, but it's a situation that I'm in, and it is what it is. Anyway, let's get to the Devils. The Devils had a weekend. They had a weekend. They, you know what, you gotta be glad at this point that they even got 2 points. I mean, that's how bad it is. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Jack Hughes is not, N-O-T, not a player you can build a team around. Now, people respond to me with this and say, but Devil's Joint, don't you see how bad they are without him? Why, yes, my sir, I do. That's the point. He's never fucking there, and he's not reliable. So you can't build a team around a guy who's gonna get injured. And I feel sorry for him. It's not like he wants to be injured, but it's just the fact. It's the reality. And the other reality is his brother Luke's way overrated. He's still getting over 22 minutes a game, and I understand that because they're low on defensemen, obviously. But I'll tell you, White has been excellent. Just on his face, on his own. He's been really good in front of the net, in my opinion. I don't know what his over/under is, like, off the top of my head, but I like him. I like the fact that I don't like the fact that anyone went down, but the fact that Xavier Perron, or whatever you want to say his name, however you want to say it, has come in, and he seems like he's one of those guys that I'm like, why hasn't he been up here? Crookshank, please go back. If you're on Substack right now, it's down there. If you're on YouTube right now, it's on here. If you're on X right now, it's on here. It's on Spotify, my interview, right? It probably within a week of Angus Crookshank signing with New Jersey, I sat down with him, and we had about a 45-minute interview where I got to know him. We talked. Great guy. I couldn't wait to see him. And I said, mark my words, he's gonna make a difference for this team, and he has. You have to admit, Crookshank, since he's come into the game, he's got a goal. He had a goal. You know, it's not his first NHL goal. It's his first Devils goal, but it didn't take him long to get one. I mean, if you think about it, they they signed Connor Brown, who I love, and he right out the gate was good. But you know, when he went to the Oilers over there, he didn't score his first goal until like the end of the season or some shit. You know, all right. So Crookshank, guess what? He's played 6 games. He's got a goal, and he's a +1. That's not bad for the position that he's in, and he's played excellent physically, defensively. You got to give Crookshank the shanks, baby. He's in. He's the man. He's the Mac. And you know what? Regarding defensemen, I don't know why Adirondack Thunder still has Jimmy Dow Jr. Please send him to Utica so we could take him up to New Jersey. I know that doesn't work like that, but, you know, if it did, let's do it. Am I right? I'm right. Yes, of course I'm right. Anyway, obviously sometimes I'm trolling. That wasn't one of those times. But I do have a thing where I know things. You know, like you gotta understand. So let's say we're gonna use the name John. I can't even think of it. John Smith. Yeah, we'll use the name John Smith. Let's say John Smith makes the NHL. Okay. He, plays as a kid up in Minnesota, let's say, or somewhere in Winnipeg, that area. Real tough kid, but nobody told him he could make it. Whatever. He makes the NHL. Becomes like a fan favorite. Even maybe a star. Either one. People forget, like, once the guy, and I hope you don't mind, on audio you're going to hear it, but do people think that when a player gets to the NHL that all of a sudden they just lose friends and family, like, and acquaintances, that they don't have them anymore? It's just very, very odd to me. I'm gonna have to... no, I don't want to do that. Hold on, I gotta just take myself off screen for one. I'm sorry, I was just talking and I wasn't even on screen. wind was blowing so hard it was knocking things down. I had to shut that window, and whatever. That's not the point. All right, so John Smith makes it right. Like, he's got family, he's got friends. He goes around to and does PR. He's working with companies. He's working with the NHL. Obviously, he's working with companies like, let's say, well, I don't know. When we think of one like Fanatics or something like that. And you know, the people that work for such companies, like they spend days with these guys, and they don't just stay silent. They conversate. These things happen, and I've overheard these things. Now I'm just gonna go straight out and break out of the you know, the little subtle shit I was just the way I was speaking. I've heard it. I've been told it. I know things that people don't believe. They don't believe, and I understand. You don't know me. But you know what? It's not that I'm never wrong, but I always say, mark my words. I said, mark my words. Quinn Hughes does not want to be a devil. He does not. Maybe he would like to be a devil, but he does not want to play with his brothers in a full-time NHL schedule. He would love to play in the Olympics or whatever, with Team USA, because this is what he said. And this isn't on the record. It wasn't an interview that was being broadcast. We were at Fanatics Fest at the Javits Center, you know, with Quinn, Jack, and Luke. And this is where this information came from. So let me just get it out there now, anyone who hears this, okay? Quinn Hughes said that he doesn't want to play with his brothers. He grew up with them, and, you know, laughing, of course. It's not like he was mad saying this. It was, you know, in a joking manner, but also he wasn't kidding. He said, not to me, but he said, you know, I really think that they're doing their thing, and I'm doing my thing, and it's working out for the best in that way. I don't think I would be of any help to their careers, you know, something like that. And, you know, the words that he said, he clearly thinks, and I believe, and I'm going to get into what Luke said directly to me, by the way, and I'll give you the quote, but, clearly he wants to not play on a team with his brothers. He wants to be able to play a few games a year against them. And if they weren't on the same team, there would be more of those games between all of them, actually. And it would be more fun. Now, obviously, Quinn went to Minnesota. Speaking of Minnesota, Luke Hughes mentioned Minnesota on June 20th. Or was it the 21st? Whatever day was Friday. This past June, on 20th or 21st. Luke said, how do I even, I mean, I can't quote, I wasn't recording him, so I might have a word wrong here or there, but this is what he said, and it's almost word for word. He said, it's really hard for me right now because I'm never going to be out of the shadow. And he's talking about Jack. He didn't say his name, but he said, I'll never be out of the shadow. He said, it's really interesting because we were literally standing by, and you can go back onto my X account and see the picture. I posted a picture of the Utah Mammoth jersey. Fanatics jersey, and no one has seen that jersey. Well, they've seen it, but no one has actually held one or touched one yet at this point. We were there with one in front of us, so I took a picture of it. I was with him at that time, in working capacity, so I'm not there to take selfies. That's unprofessional, something I'm not supposed to do, I'm not allowed to do. Just before people say, why don't you got pictures? You know, photos, video, or it didn't happen. Okay, it didn't happen then. Learn the hard way. I don't care. I'm just trying to be real with you people. Luke Hughes said, he said, he didn't say look at Utah, but we looked at the Utah jersey. We're looking at the jersey and critiquing it a little bit. And he goes, Utah's a place, that I think I would be great in. I could be my own player. He said even St. Louis or Minnesota, which is ironic, Now, he was thinking of the Midwest and thinking of being on his own and becoming basically, because he's a defenseman like Quinn Hughes on another team. Not because he went on to say that he's expected, not necessarily by the coaches, but he's expected by the fans. There's so much fan pressure on these guys. Who the fuck's coughing like that outside my house? Fuck delivery guy. Could you hear that? Anyway, damn, I got my headphones on and everything. This guy's hocking up his lungs. And I'm smoking in here. Anyway, what was I getting at? So Luke Hughes, first of all, he spent the whole summer trying to basically fighting not between Fitz or his agent and Fitz. They were actually not in contact for most of the time. You know why? Because Luke, who I was with in June, July, and August, for multiple days each time, okay? By August, it was still the same. It was, if Quinn comes to the Devils, he's further into the shadow. I don't remember exactly how he worded that, but he would be further into the shadow because now not only is another brother on his team, but it's his position. So then he's further into the shadows. He wants to be his own guy. He said if he went to a place like St. Louis, Minnesota, or Utah, those are the three teams that he actually named. And he, like I said, Utah came up because we were looking at the Mammoth jersey. And it makes so much sense. I wrote an article about it, and I got shit on for it. You know what? That's okay. I know what's true. I know what I know. And I also understand that people are stupid, and they don't realize that some people are, like, you ever look at videos of, just, because there's a lot of creepers out there, just videos of one of the Hughes brothers just, around, like, doing something in the arena or at some event, and they're, got some people with them that they're talking to. Like, maybe those people, maybe they met him before. Maybe he knows him a little bit. Maybe they're talking, like, those things happen. And it seems like people, especially hockey fans on Twitter, that's usually because that's where I am mostly. But it seems like they just think that nobody could possibly ever have a conversation, like a meaningful one, with any of these players. Well, if you've built a rapport with them, over, if you're working through, like, the companies that they get paid by, they get to know you and you talk to them. That's how things go. I got lucky. I'll be straight up. Hated the company that I work for right now. Hated it. They knew it because my criticism was very deliberate, very open, and very raw, I guess you could say. They came to me, and this is one of the best things. You want the window open? See, this new guy wants me to open the window. Hold on. Alright. So, it takes that long for me to forget. Damn. I hated them, and they knew it. So they did the best thing they could ever do, and reached out to me and 5 other people who were also, like, very openly critical that had, obviously, I have like a little over 5,000 followers on Twitter. Not, it's not a lot, but I also don't accept all requests. Like people follow me, and then I just hit the block button. But I don't block people. I hit the block button so they unfollow me. So you know, I don't want certain people following me. Just to be real. I just don't. I'd rather, and I know my stuff comes up on their feeds anyway. It is what it is. My X account is monetized, so if when the Blue Jackets thing happened, when I said nothing bad about the Blue Jackets, literally just put a video out of Dylan getting hurt and leaving the ice. Just wrote exactly what I saw was that Dylan got surprised from behind and then got uppercut and he's injured. I didn't say the Blue Jackets are scumbags, nothing like that. But the whole fan base came after me, and they're a pathetic fan base. They're the only thing they're known for, and it's sad to say, but the only thing that people remember that they're even a team in the league. The only reason why is because of Johnny Gaudreau, and he wasn't even like he was hardly a Blue Jacket. He was like a Blue Jack. You know what I mean? Like Calgary was his spot. God bless him. Rest in peace. Him and his brother. But that's just really sad. But they came after me, and I kept saying, like, come on. I'm not. You guys are nuts. You guys are nuts. Like, the fans are crazy. So, like, the Devils fans, too. A lot of them just won't. They're set. They have a mindset. Like, my mindset is that everything is subject to change. Let me know in any comment section that you're watching this on. If you're watching it, if there's comments on wherever you're watching, let me know what you think about that. Like, do you think of the game as everything is subject to change, or are you one of those people who are just like, okay, Luke Hughes is a devil and he has to stay as a devil even if he sucks? They can't trade him. We don't want to trade him. Like, this is not... People don't understand the Devils' way of the organization. I made a comment like, the Devils for 25 years didn't rely on big stars or whatever, and they were successful and it worked. Like, let's get back to that. And people are like, what do you mean they have 3 Hall of Famers and blah, blah. See, how do you not understand what I'm trying to say? Like, they didn't go out looking to sign the big, like Gretzky, like the Rangers. They just used the Rangers. They weren't doing what the Rangers were doing. Lindros, Yager. Like, they did do Yager, but, later in his career, it wasn't a huge deal. It was for a season, not even, like, that wasn't like getting Yager when the Rangers did, So having Yager, they had Doug Gilmour for a season, and Trachuk, but these aren't major. Even Joe Nieuwendyk and Jamie Langenbrunner, these were not major NHL stars that were like blockbusters. You know what I mean? These were just moves that were made that put a good team together. But most of the teams, for the most part, the good winning teams and Stanley Cup teams, were drafted. And the best player of all these players drafted by the Devils, other than like, the banners and the Hall of Famers, is Sergei Brylin. And he has, he does have his Ring of Honor, and he is on the bench, and he did look very pissed yesterday. Sarge looked pissed. Maybe I'll put that picture up on this video also. But Sarge, Ring of Honor. I'm gonna write an article about Ring of Honor because I gotta guess who it is. I've guessed them all so far, which has only been Brylin and Lemaire. And this time, I think I'm going with Larry Robinson. Not sure, because I don't know. And you know what? A lot of people say you have that. Like you might know the answer, but I don't. I really don't. And I'm thinking. I even asked Ken Danico. I said, "Do you think Chris Terreri or Don LaGreca, one of the two?" When I interviewed both of them, by the way, if you haven't seen those interviews or listened to them, please check them out. I've gotten some great interviews for a guy who's just doing his own thing. Yes, I work for certain places in this, but these interviews I do are personal. They're not through companies. They're my devil's joint venture. You know what I mean? So, I got Tom Chorsky, Jimmy Dowd, Cam Jansen, Stan Fischler. I'm gonna be doing Matt Lachlan, Rachel Herzog, Bryce Salvador this season. During the Olympic break, most likely. Tim Peel, referee. I have Mike Rupp coming up soon. I have all these interviews, and still no one realizes, okay, maybe this guy has a little connection and maybe he gets some information. And you know why people trust me with information? Because I don't go out spurting it. When I know something, you don't see me tweet words very often. I tweet videos, replays. I might respond to certain things, but most of the time I'm not writing like armchair GM stuff or anything like that. For the most part, and I could. I write articles. I wrote an article. It's called "In the Shoes of Luke Hughes." It's on my Substack. Go to the Substack, The Devils You Know. It's right here right there, The Devils You Know, on Substack. You could read the article. It's called "In the Shoes of Luke Hughes," where I changed the names of Tom Fitzgerald, of Luke Hughes, of Jack Hughes, of Quinn Hughes, of the Harris M. Blitzer, like all of these people. I changed their names and then I put it into like a story, almost like a short story. And it explains what Luke is going through regarding the pressure from the ownership of the Devils, because they are just trying to make money off of their names. Like I said, Luke Hughes could get his foot cut off, and they're not gonna care as long as people are buying Luke Hughes jerseys, and they're making money off of these names. That's the problem, is that they don't care. Jack Hughes is injured, right? And he's not at practice, but he's able to film a commercial. And yeah, it was filmed after his injury, but he's able to film a commercial where he's skating on the ice, spinning around, doing a loop-de-doo, jumping over some people, fucking eating hot dogs and breaking through a wall like the Kool-Aid Man. But he can't skate non-contact practice? Come on. It's because they get preferential treatment. The Devils team, they sit there and watch video. You can tell if you played hockey ever in any sort of place other than a house league, like in any sort of competition, whether it be high school or just a travel team. For me, Long Island with Nassau County Lions, Long Island Gulls, New York Apple Corps. These are teams I played for. Teams like that, you learn immediately about the way things are, just how things are supposed to happen. Bryce Salvador mentioned yesterday on air about InstaFreeze. He said, "Hey Ken, you remember the InstaFreeze?" Because Luke Hughes hurt his face, he got slashed, and it hurt his hand. And he goes, "Hey Ken, you remember, or Dano, you remember that InstaFreeze? He'll just put some of that on there, and he'll be out there next shift." And he did. It's true, but a lot of people, I know for a fact, that many people had no idea what they were talking about, even hockey players, because just level, like if you're playing for your high school hockey team, you probably don't know what Insta-freeze is. I mean, you might know what it is, but you might not. You probably weren't using it. But once you get to like levels where the tournaments matter and all this stuff, and it's competition against other countries, or you know, I went to Michigan for a Russian hockey camp in Michigan, which was really ironic. And then we went up to Canada, and me, couple, 5 or 6 other Americans, and then the rest Russians played as Team USA against Canada in like this scrimmage game. I don't remember what players. It wasn't any NHL players or anything. Not that I know of. I don't remember who they were. Maybe there was an NHL player. Who the fuck knows? They were good. They beat us. But I'm just on a tangent because anyway, yeah. Over the weekend, I didn't cover the games for the first time in 5 years because of this dog situation. It's giving me so much anxiety that I can't keep my thoughts straight. As you can tell, it's been 46 minutes. And I've been rambling, and I didn't even get to Jacob Markstrom. Gotta get fucking, what's her name? I remembered her name, Tanya Harding. We need Tanya Harding right outside the walkway to the locker room from the bench. Maybe goalie skates off the ice, and a little Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding guy with the club thing happens, and LTIR. Now we got Nico Dawes that can play, because Nico Dawes is the guy who should be in the net. It should be Jake Allen. This is how it should be played. Let's say there's no back-to-backs. Jake Allen, Nico Dawes, 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 Jake Allen, Nico Dawes. In that circle of shit, okay? Because I can't even remember words. I just got so much going on. The anxiety of this dog is really destroying me. It really is, because I don't know how I'm gonna fix him. I don't know, it's like not, it's almost like impossible. I don't know, hopefully maybe I'll do a GoFundMe, I don't know. Anyway, the Devils have lost 6 of the last 7 games. They were 5-game losing streak, they win 1 game against Anaheim, whoop-de-doo. Then they lose to like the worst team in the league, the Canucks, who, they got Markstrom. The 1-0 them thing, that was a Corey Schneider thing. Like, Corey Schneider let in a goal on the first shot of the game. Like, I think probably in the history of hockey, more than any other goalie ever. That's just obviously speculation. I'm just saying that, but like that's how bad it was. And it seems that that's happening to Markstrom now. He's letting in like 2 goals within the first few minutes, like every time he gets in net. I don't care if he stands on his head, because he did. He stood on his head all game yesterday. But he let in some shit goal that let them go up 2-1. The first goal Dylan put in, and Zeev Buium got his first goal, for the Canucks. Good for him. But God, man, he took a shot that went fucking 5-6 feet wide that hit Brendan Dillon's stick, and Brendan Dillon wasn't anywhere near the net. So he didn't even shoot close to the net. If that shot didn't hit Brendan Dillon, everyone would have said, "What the fuck?" Instead, they said, "Looks like we might not miss Quinn Hughes after all." No. That was luck. Even I'll give Markstrom a break on that one. He missed, and he didn't even get close. It was like the worst shot ever taken. It was a shot that you would get sent to the AHL for back in the past. Whew. The Devils have 2 old goalies. They can't have that. Why did Fitz extend Markstrom? I know I've talked about this before, but also I'm sure a lot of people listening to this haven't listened to my other episodes, which are probably much better than this one. I'm. It's almost like I'm drunk because the anxiety is just taking over me. Like, I don't drink alcohol at all. Haven't in maybe 20 years. You know, from when I was a kid in high school, I didn't like it. But that's not the point. Um, I'm saying, like, I feel like this anxiety is really getting me over this dog. It's like I missed the games. I couldn't even sit down for the games and record and do my thing. I just couldn't. Like, you know, too much going on with what's up with this guy. What's he doing? Is he gonna bite Gino? You know, they both ran out of the room finally. You know, all that stuff. So I'm going through the dog thing, and yeah. So anyway, season 4 is now gonna not be after. There's not gonna be an episode after every game because it was getting to a point where, of course, this one went very long, and I rambled on about a bunch of shit. And you know what? I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you like it, and I hope you subscribe and check out my other stuff. I've many interviews with NHL alumni, officials, Devils alumni. I have upcoming interviews, some I can't mention, some I already did mention. If you didn't hear them, rewind about 10 minutes. Which reminds me, actually, that what I wanted to show you is some cards. Not some card. Well, yeah, more than one card. I got this wonderful. Look at this. This is New Jersey Devils hockey helmet decals from 1989. Number 19. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. They're not like literally like what was given to the Devils, but they were given out by Tops. Was it Tops? Yeah, they were given out by Tops. But these were rare. You weren't just getting one of these like in every pack. You know what I mean? And also, is it in this book? It's got to be in this book. Oh, I got the. Yeah, here, let me pull these guys out. I finally got the Paul Cotter Young Guns card. Paul, I need you to sign this. I know you signed the jersey for me. I appreciate that, bud. But I'm going to need a signature on your Young Guns. I don't know why I have this on here. Seamus Casey Young Guns. I also have Simone Nemec Young Guns, but it's not here. It's in a different book. I do not have that here. I will show it in the next one. But check out this Young Guns, since I'm in my Young Guns section. First of all, they're starting to do this Young Guns where they're bringing back older players. Actually, let me show you a different one. This one's weird. A Philadelphia Flyers Claude Giroux Young Guns from... What series is this? 24-25. So it's Young Guns, like, remastered. I forgot what it's called. Stupid. I got Matt Stajan, Mikko Rantanen, and Claude Giroux. But check out this Young Guns card. This is a classic. I also have a couple of great ones. I have the Hughes, yeah, actually I'll show you that too. I have the Luke and Quinn Hughes, the Jack and Quinn Hughes Young Guns checklist card, which is amazing. And I have, look at this, Nicholas Lidstrom Young Guns. What year is this? 1992. Nicholas Lidstrom Young Guns card. Mint condition. Guarantee, I mean, you can't trust them, so, this is a 10. This is a grade 10 card. Card came right out of the pack, went right into here, that's it. The only way it wouldn't be is if there's a manufacturer error, which usually would make a card worth more money, but instead, if they fuck up a corner, you can't tell if it's from the manufacturer or if it's from you. So it kind of, there's a gray line there, it sucks. But I also got Timo Meyer Upper Deck Canvas Young Guns. I got that beauty. I got a bunch. This is my Young Guns section. This one's funny. It's Seattle, but I'll show you. It's Bowie. Young Guns, Bowie. The Troll. Oh, and here, I'll give you one last rookie, two rookies. A Young Guns Slavkovsky in the blue Montreal jersey, which I love, and this O-Pee-Chee Luke Hughes rookie. Marqué de rookie. So, I'm not going to get into my cards. Because this is mostly an audio podcast, so, don't want to do too much visual stuff. But I'll do a separate thing where I do a video going through these books and showing all the cool cards that I have collected over the last few years. And then maybe we can get it behind this thing behind me right here. There's bins in the back. If we get into those, we can get into the binders, and go back to the 90s, late 80s and 90s and see all that stuff. So anyway, before an hour hits, let me end this this shit show, I guess you could say. Like literally. So let's do it. I'll see you soon. Hey, let's go Devils, eh? Hey! Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, I appreciate you all. And please, if you have the heart, donate, send me your email, I will send you some cool shit, maybe even Tom Short. That's what I wanted to show you, the autographed Tom Shorsky card. But whatever, that's for another time. I'll see you soon.